Howdy, y'all. I'm Brylan. Russia offers Elon Musk political asylum after billionaire's public feud with Donald Trump. This is how far it's gone now. It's just insane. This is so ridiculous that this is happening. Obviously, this is Russia posturing. This is them taking advantage of the situation. I mean, why wouldn't they? But it just goes to show that this feud is doing a lot more damage than people realize. And I understand there's people out there that think this is all a part of Trump and Musk playing 4D chess and that this is all planned out. But do we really need a fake feud to prove that the left are hypocrites? Of course not! Real quick, would you consider hitting that thumbs up button? You know when you like this video, you're not agreeing with the insanity, but you're helping push it out to more people to help spread the truth. And thank God that our faith isn't put in man. As Psalm 118 says, look at verse 8, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. However, that doesn't mean that we should be ignorant, not understand the implications of this. This is horrible. This is miserable. Really stinks to see this happening. Now, there's an interesting thing that you can't help but realize when you look at the major nuclear bombshell that Elon Musk dropped about Trump and the list. I'm going to show you that and then show you why none of it actually makes sense when you look a little deeper. But of course, there's so many ways to look at this. There's so many playbooks at play here. But it all started when Musk just literally was, I can't do it anymore. And he went off on the one big beautiful bill, no matter how you feel about it. An absolute shame for those who voted for it. And you know you did wrong. Musk really hates this bill. And after several attacks between Musk and Trump, it led to Musk saying time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Now, this is dividing. This is dividing the conservatives. Like, this is exactly what the left wants. This is what they were hoping for. This is something that is an absolute tragedy to be witnessing. This has done absolute irreparable damage. There will be no coming back from this. Unless this is some sort of staged thing that's happening between them. I don't think that's happening. I understand people want to believe that so bad because it would be much better than if this was actually real. But that's not the case. That's not what's happening here. I wish it was. I would love to be wrong. But the thing is that you cannot come back from this, from making this kind of accusation. However, there's brand new reports coming out literally every minute. But we're hearing that Trump and Musk are set to speak on Friday in a bid to thaw relations after their public feud. However, there's also reporting happening at the exact same time saying that Trump is ruling out talking to Musk for a while. I think they absolutely need to talk in person and get this stuff worked out. 100% no doubt about that. But, this is why I trust Ground News, because they'll show you how the left and the right are spinning the news so you know what to believe. In fact, they even show you the bias behind every single news outlet. Their blind spot feature shows you when the left or the right isn't covering the news that you should know about. You can also see who owns each news outlet. If you go to ground.news/Brylan or scan the QR code on the screen, you can get 40% off the same Vantage plan that I personally use. Thank you for supporting the sponsor of this video, Ground News. It helps me to continue to bring you daily news videos that you can trust. A lot of people are pointing out that if Musk knew this about Trump, that he was on the list in the bad way, why was his son being babysit by Donald Trump, essentially? You saw this a lot. In fact, the mainstream media hated the fact that they saw Trump with doing so well, essentially, with Musk's son. This is one of the things that gets you thinking that maybe this is all just a plan to essentially gain more credibility back to Musk and his companies, and essentially get Tesla and SpaceX back in good standing. While I don't like it playing out this way, it would be a brilliant move politically, actually. And, what Elon Musk did for X, I think that gets downplayed a lot by conservatives because of some hiccups that have happened in between. But I really hate to see this. In fact, David Schoen posted this on X as well. I was hired to lead Jeff's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he was no more. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. Now you have people all over the board when it comes to whether Trump is on the list or not, saying that if the left knew that Trump was on the list, they would have released it already. And then you have people saying, no, they wouldn't have, because then they would be implicating themselves. And it's so back and forth. I mean, these are literally conservatives against conservatives, just annihilating each other over this. This is doing, again, a lot of damage. And we have to realize that Musk is not the one that is going to be hurt by all this. It is going to be the American people, you and I, the ones who stand for conservative values. And we can't let that happen. This guy actually makes a good point. There is a term for this. When both sides have nukes, it in and of itself deters the launching of said nukes. Walsh had this take. He said, it is totally inconceivable that there would be something incriminating about Trump in the files, and yet the Democrats kept the information to themselves for all these years. Sure, you can say that they are also incriminated in the files, but so what? They would have just released the part that incriminated Trump. Release that part and destroy or redact the rest. Does anyone think the Dems are above pulling a move like that? I think that's a great point. I think it's logical. It makes sense. I agree with it in many ways. The only possible reason they didn't release the dirt on Trump is that there is no dirt to release. Trump is the most thoroughly vetted politician in American history. There is no corner of his life that his enemies haven't ripped open for public view, and yet they've kept this a secret? Absurd. We're supposed to believe that the intelligence agencies who've been trying to destroy Trump for 10 years had this information but couldn't figure out how to get it out there without publishing the entire file and burning all the names on it? Come on. But you have other people making points as well that you go, well, yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense too. It's like anybody trying to make it sound like they know exactly why this is happening or how it's going down or why the list hasn't been released or when it's going to be. No, nobody knows except for the people that know. And the people that know don't want you to know, which means you're never going to know. But some people are like, good line of questioning, Matt, but your answer still doesn't make sense. If there's nothing, then release it. Yeah, I mean, if Trump's name wasn't on it, why wouldn't they just release it? Maybe there's other people on it close to them that, that is why they don't want to release it, but not necessarily Trump. I'm not saying that's a good reason. Charlie Kirk put it this way.
First of all, as you know, President Trump and Elon Musk are fighting. I have a lot of respect for both of them and very thankful for what Elon did for purchasing X. Just so you know, President Trump's name was actually in the files going back to February. That's right. In February, they were there. And look, this idea that he's on the client's list or some nonsense, being in Palm Beach, of course you're going to be listed in a long document. He was once friends with Jeff Epstein, and then he kicked him out of his club for being creepy towards young girls. President Trump's own administration released Epstein files back in February where his own name was mentioned, not as a criminal, not as doing anything wrong, in fact, for acting correctly and properly. You must separate fact from fiction on this.
Now, this is something that went super viral. It's really funny, actually. But Musk threatened to decommission the Dragon spacecraft. He said, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, we will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Because Trump said the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Again, This is so ridiculous. In fact, the media is reporting that if Musk did decommission the Dragon space capsule, it would leave NASA to depend on Russia to get to ISS, the International Space Station. That's pretty wild. And so it's funny because someone left a comment under here. He says, "This is a shame, this back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off. Take a step back for a couple of days." Elon Musk actually replied, "Good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon." Okay, it was obviously a veiled threat by Elon Musk. But this is the kind of sense that we should all be saying to Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Just be quiet, take a few deep breaths, step back, and just stop. Just stop. Hey, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, join this community. I would love to hear from you on a regular basis. And please, hit that thumbs up button. You know when you like this video, to get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. All right, I'll see you in the next video.